Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Weekly Game Chat. I am your host, Chris. As always, joined by my co-host, Sean.
What is he going to say, huh?
I know, right? And John.
How's it going?
He gave me the look. I've never seen him cut his eyes over at me before. He did today.
Just now?
Yeah, he was like, and Sean.
Chris did.
Yeah, not you. You would know if you cut your eyes at me.
I suppose. I'd see a red mark on my face all of a sudden.
What does that mean?
You would slap me.
I would not slap
Ouch.
you.
We have a violent relationship.
That's not true.
That's, it's kind of,
It's a violent relationship out in the open and in the bedroom.
I was trying
Because
to
that
think
one
of,
time you beat the snot out of me in a bedroom.
I was trying to think of a good 50 Shades reference.
No.
But, yeah.
50
maybe
Shades.
that was it. I don't know.
50 Shades of Sean.
Yeah. Ish. It's good stuff.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I got nothing this week.
What do you mean?
Well, I do.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess unless like you include, I watched Paterno and like
Nope.
some other TV
what you
movie.
got, John?
So, outside of that, I got nothing this week.
I just realized I'm the only person that saw A Quiet Place.
I wanted to go with you yesterday. I
Yeah.
appreciate the
Oh,
invite.
here that goes. It's
He called me at like 3:45 and he was like, "Hey, we're going at 5 o'clock." And I was like, "I'd love to go," because I told him I wanted to go, but I had already agreed to go to my mom's house for dinner, and that was like at 6:30, so I couldn't go.
It's a good dinner.
Yeah,
I will say
meatloaf.
that I think the movie invite, if it's 15, 20 minutes out, it's still a valid invite.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because if you want to go and you're free, that's plenty of time to get there.
I did forget to invite you.
I wouldn't want to go. Because isn't that a scary movie?
It is.
Yeah.
Suspenseful-ish.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm just a happy boy who wants like lollipops and balloons and stuff.
Said I rewatched Spider-Man: Homecoming while I was at my mom's house.
Not a bad.
I was like,
not a
"Ooh,
bad
I like the
movie.
yeah." I was like, "I like the end of that movie."
That's also in my top 5.
Ooh,
Movies
not
of
bad
all
pick.
time or Spider-Man?
Marvel movies.
Is it your top Spider-Man movie?
I still really love Spider-Man 2.
You're supposed to say 3. We all know that's the best one because
Well,
it's the only-
Spider-Man 3 is not horrible. It's just really busy.
It's more of like the fact that when they decided to make evil Spider-Man, during that little part, like their idea of evil was he got into jazz and he
I thought that
had
was-
emo hair and all that.
But I saw that in a crowded theater, and
Yeah.
that went off beautifully in a crowded
Sure.
theater.
Well, Sam
got,
Raimi knows
it got the
jokes.
laughs and all that stuff. But
I think the problem with my Marvy
Your old Marvel.
old Marvy movies with the Marvel movies is there's just so many of them.
Yeah.
And they get rebooted sometimes like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I don't care enough to keep up with it like I would something that I care about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm just like,
I didn't care for the Amazing Spider-Man.
and that was the one I think I wanted.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
I liked the first one. I did not like the second one. Did not like the second one at all. Especially when we got to the part where I was like, he was battling Electro and it was pretty much like a DJ rave thing going on in the background. And I was like, and I love DJs and raves, but I was like, this does not work right now. These things should not be put together.
But did you like it?
Oh God, absolutely.
Quiet Place. That is.
A Quiet Place. Yeah. John Krasinski.
Jim.
Always a fan from Jim from The Office, but this guy put on his acting chops and his directing chops at the same time. It's amazing what you can do with a film that has very little dialogue. The script must have been hard to learn, but there's a lot of great horror movies that rest on their scares alone. But this did the Shyamalan approach, not with the surprise ending. I mean, there's no surprise ending, but
Spoilers.
when Shyamalan's good.
Shyamalan?
Sure.
Whatever.
I thought he said shine.
Are you correcting me?
That's
I know.
what's funny
Unless
about
it's
it.
like Shyamalan. I was like, what is
M. Night Shyamalan.
I thought it was always
That is
Shyamalan.
the greatest thing ever. Will you
Maybe I'm
continue
wrong.
to say that for me?
That's what I always thought it was.
I know.
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night.
Thank you. Thank
When-
you, John.
yes. Thank you.
When his movies are good, it's because not just the suspense is there, but the human relationships are there.
Right.
And this film really has a focus of giving you that human dynamic. This is about a family confined in a unexplained post-apocalyptic world, and it's about the family.
Kind of
Hashtag
like
fam,
that.
yo.
I got that same feeling from The Happening with Mark Wahlberg.
No, you did not.
Where he was just walking around going,
I
what's
actually-
going on?
I like almost every M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Lady in the Water is kind of
But I almost like him.
And Avatar.
I think I'm just a fan of him. And so I almost like all of them.
I like a good number of them.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had some, obviously. What was that one with Will Smith? After Earth or whatever it was.
Yeah, I forgot
that
about
was
that
pretty
one.
bad.
Yeah, thanks for bringing me that one.
Yeah.
And then The Last Airbender was him as well.
Yeah.
I liked it.
As
I
a
know
fan
that.
of
I didn't
the
hate it.
series,
I get it. I get
couldn't
it.
stand it.
So, and me knowing nothing about it, I was like, it's pretty cool.
Yep.
It's pretty cool, man.
I mean, like, I would have loved to have seen him make that into a miniseries. I think they could have done a great job with that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm a defender of M. Night
Yeah.
all the way up to
The Village?
The Village.
Mm-hmm.
I thought The Village was pretty decent as well.
Mm-hmm.
Unbreakable is my personal favorite. I love Signs.
Signs was good.
Signs is
Signs was real good, yeah.
Signs pretends like it's about aliens, but it's really about a guy losing his faith.
Yeah.
I mean, aliens are simply a backdrop and a plot device to move that story forward. And I think it was brilliant the way
Yes,
they did
I
that.
agree.
So you
Swing away, Gabriel.
You don't
right.
think when the aliens like in the house?
Well, no, it's like the end scene is like, so those aliens, that was weird, wasn't it?
Well, it's like I might have had a little gasp when I saw that.
It was freaky.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. But these creatures in A Quiet Place are, man, really well done.
nice. Well, good.
That's kind of crazy that 2 years running now, if you think about it, we've had a comedic actor turned director, writer, produce a great horror film. Last year was Jordan Peele with Get Out, and now this year we have Jim from The Freaking Office writing A Quiet Place and directing it. So I wonder who it will be next year.
I don't know, but Jim from The
Michael
Office
Cera.
and his wife are a really good couple. I love
Yeah.
I love most movies and things they do.
Yeah,
And that
Emily
helps
Blunt's really
That
good.
helps the film. That really helps the film with the husband and wife dynamic.
For sure.
There's not a lot of, I mean,
like
you
all these-
show up and pretend like you're married. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
you just go to your wife like,
Your wife.
okay, so in this scene, imagine they're about to kill our kid.
Yeah. Funnel that. Let's do this.
Yeah. Act one, go.
I mean, it's got me thinking about it even now. I've been thinking about it since I saw it yesterday. So I'm going to go see it
I've been
again.
thinking about
Yeah.
you.
Oh yeah. It's not that I've seen many films this
my
year,
Frank
but it's my
Ocean.
favorite film of 2018 so far.
Ooh, it is
I
early.
got you.
But most importantly, we were in EB Games today.
Is this going to happen? You're going to do this, huh?
And
Didn't we
Chris,
sign an NDA?
No.
Are you're not
Chris,
supposed to? We didn't.
Non-disclosure.
If you want me to cease and desist right now, I certainly will.
I don't think we should.
Okay.
No, I mean, cease and desist. I think we should continue. That was all fake. My concern was completely fake.
Chris, I don't know about you, but sometimes when you're in a store, you veer off to an unpopulated area of a store
And you let it go.
and you ease out
Yeah.
some air.
Or you do like I did the last time we all went, and like as we were about to walk out, I let one rip and did not care.
That was not cool because you let it out of the door area where we all had to walk.
Oh, I saw it. I remember.
well, we're
But
talking
I want
about
everyone to turn and look at
and that's
you guys.
what they call effed up.
Yep.
The way to do it though is just kind of be in a way where it's over there, and if you venture over there, that's on you. But you can leave the store and not venture over there.
Ryan Leaf was in this scenario, right?
So we're standing over next.
of
We're
course.
standing over
Hey.
next to the Switch.
In our local EB
Accessories.
games, yeah.
Next to the next.
To set up the store for people, when you walk in, to the left, kind of like a Funko Pop area, really nerdy gifts that you can buy.
Yeah.
To the right is like the Switch area. Then the main counter is along the wall, and then the big boys wrap around the store: the PlayStation, Xbox, and everything else. Right?
Because they need all
And
the
it's
space.
a when you walk in it's like a rectangular store, meaning that it's long. So we're into the kind of the right hand corner, right, close to the register.
Yeah, gotcha.
Ish. And I showed John an ad for the expansion for Splatoon 2. How
That's exactly what was
I
going
brought it up
on.
and I was like, hey, and I go, this is awesome. 1999.
Yeah, he says there's 80
I was
levels.
like, there's 80 single player campaign levels for Splatoon 2, 1999. John was like, wow. And I don't know what compelled me.
You just let go.
You didn't know it was me. You didn't know this was going to happen. So
I was figuring Ryan Leaf was walking by
Right.
just to let it happen.
So, from my perspective, a customer is at the desk now getting rung out. John's kind of right in front of me,
John, if you're gonna go into John laugh, remember, lean back.
Mike's sitting there, and I think I gotta let this out. It's fine, right?
It's gotta happen. It will just be something.
I didn't
small.
know that the horn of
Gondor.
Yes, I did not know the horn of Gondor
He's still peaked,
was gonna be out my old bunghole. It felt amazing,
but you let the beacons.
And he was easing this out. Imagine if he'd pushed it out.
yeah.
Like I did that one day.
It was such a victory trumpet of goodness, and it lasted for so long.
Did you see Christians vanish because the rapture started?
It was
The clerk behind the counter got distracted and started laughing.
The customer looked over. I was like, we broke up. It was like somebody threw something in the middle of us. Imagine that.
Hey, you have nothing to be ashamed.
I'm proud of it.
I'm in the back of the store,
Everyone
stitched over laughing. I could not.
You're in John laugh.
I felt bad only because the manager is cool with us, and I didn't want him to think it was
Got
a
the
sign
glasses.
Yeah, I didn't want him to think it was a sign of disrespect.
A sign of disrespect. Hey man, I'm coming in here. I want you to know what I think.
but it happened, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
it
was just before the glove of Thanos. What's that thing called?
The Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. John makes a joke to him about certain things that males do when they're alone with the glove on. So then
As
you
you
flash
should do.
forward to me doing that, and I thought, I'm sorry, dude. We were not on our best behavior, but we don't care because it was hilarious today.
Jeez.
I'm glad we've got an 11-minute and 45-second fart story. That's a highlight.
You don't
here.
understand?
149 episodes.
It's one of those things.
I wish you were there.
It was,
and Ryan Leaf looks at me and goes, "You did that?" I know.
It was great. It was better than a fart machine.
It was huge.
It felt good hearing it.
It was.
Did
it was
feel
one of
good
those.
smelling it.
I never smelled it.
Yeah.
Those are the best kind.
But I think his smell like tulips and roses.
Yeah.
Because I've never smelled
roses.
I've never smelled his gas before.
Me, on the other hand,
Oh God.
I've tasted it.
I think
those porch days.
I think Chris. I think the last time you rode me in the Jeep, I have leather seats or whatever, and you farted, and I think it stayed in the seat
Who was it that one?
for like a day or two
was
after
it?
you left.
Was it Mike D that one day? Remember from way back? We were driving back from lunch, and you didn't have the air on, and you had, the windows were barely
God.
cracked, and all of a sudden we get to a stop sign. There's no wind, and he just lets it go, and we have to sit there for a good 2 minutes before he could finally turn left and get the freaking wind blowing.
Yeah,
again.
when he farts, it's like you need an immediate colonoscopy. Like it's like something's wrong.
Now,
right?
Like something crawled up inside him and died.
You're
now,
like, dude.
actually, the worst is Mikey, because Mikey.
Forzik?
Oh yeah, when we went to Asheville,
Yeah.
it was me, Rochelle, Mikey, and Eduardo. Eduardo, you know, Drizno. And he gets there and he goes into the bathroom and he lets it rip. And me and Eduardo were outside on the balcony, and all of a sudden Rochelle just comes flying out of the room gagging, and she's like, "God, that is just so bad." And Eduardo goes, "It can't be that bad." And then he takes 2 steps in and he just hear, "Oh."
It's like, whoa.
We call him El Baño.
El baño. That means bathroom.
Exactly, because that's what it sounds like. He's 2 seconds away
That
from
means
it.
bathroom, John. That's Spanish for bathroom.
Yes.
Voy explotar tu baño.
Don't know what that means.
I want to explode your bathroom.
Oh,
There you go.
ish.
Or something like that.
Well, I want Chris to explode this topic.
Are we doing this? That was a good pivot. We're pivoting.
if you-
No, we're pivoting. Pivot.
And that's how you do a pivot.
There you go.
Topic time.
The topic is.
You got to read it like John said it. Do you remember what he said?
He said nanu, but this is not
I'm so
more.
glad y'all caught that.
Yeah.
I saw those. I was like, he would.
We read
Why you gotta be insensitive to Japanese RPGs, John? Why can't you give them the same respect you give Far Cry?
I just derailed him because go ahead. You okay?
No, good.
Yeah, okay. Good.
But in reality, it's Ni No Kuni II, The Revenant Kingdom.
Yep.
I almost went with the Bill Murray Caddyshack reference with no, but I didn't know. I was like, no, that's not.
I don't know
That's
if that
gonna,
would translate to the page. I
it's
get you.
not
I'm
gonna
with
do
you
that.
on that. I'm with you. So
you?
I am.
Okay. Don't touch me.
See,
Yeah,
Caddyshack
sure.
2 is.
Yeah.
Caddyshack 2 was awful.
Yeah, it is.
Caddyshack
Freaking,
is good.
it just shows you how things fall off when you
sequels.
replace Bill Murray with Dan Aykroyd.
Was Chevy Chase in it?
He was. That was back when Chevy was a D to everyone.
But nobody talked
But
about it.
he was also like the most bankable comedic star of the day. You know, 'cause
What happened, man?
he was a D, and he still is.
He's so funny.
That's why Donald Glover left Community, one part at least, and a bunch of others.
I think that's hearsay and slander. You shouldn't do that.
No, I think he said that in an interview.
I think we have it in quotes, Sean.
Yeah. I know Dan Harmon didn't like him.
Why are you name dropping?
These are regular people.
I don't like when you do that.
Dan Harmon. Just name dropping. Who else do you know, Chris? Just rub that in our face.
thank
Joel,
you for-
Joel McHale.
He's funny. He's got a new show on Netflix.
That was one of the best parts. When
He seems like a Chevy Chase type guy.
he is, but he's not like as behind the scenes to say he's not like a D like he is.
Penny.
Yeah, go grab that from me.
Before the show, you're supposed to put that up. Did you just set it on the
and put it
ground?
up? No, it was up on there. She jumped up and got it.
It's a foot.
Well, go get it.
She has 4 legs.
It's literally a foot from you now.
Oh my god.
No, but they made that adaptation of National Lampoon magazine, like how you came to the National Lampoon movies. Joel McHale played Chevy Chase specifically and was just a complete D the whole entire time. I think who was it? I think Josh Dalton told me that. Or there, Jeff. One of those two. But anyways, yeah, this is supposed to be about Ni No Kuni.
I'm excited to hear about it because I've seen you play this game a couple of times. It's beautiful.
For sure.
And it just looks...
What is what? The bike? It's been there for like a month.
Yeah, it's been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. And the game just looks, it's calling to me. I just feel so invited to this game.
It looks so good, like you said. Just to piggyback on that, it's almost like an artistic.
That would be because the original game was done in conjunction with Studio Ghibli. And for those who are unfamiliar, they're the ones who make movies like Ponyo, House Castle. Like pretty much, it's that Japanese, it's Japanese too. Like, I mean, what is it? Like I cannot remember the main guy. I'm sure Casey could tell me in a heartbeat, but, he's got like all these Oscar
I'm Batman.
nominations. It's very, very well praised studio.
Yeah.
They didn't do this one, as far as the art style, but as far as what I've heard, they had like, a number of key people that worked on the first game go over from that studio to work at level 5 to make sure the art was still there. And I mean, I don't think anyone will notice. It still very much has the exact same art styles.
Well, as long as you have a template, I mean, you're good to go.
Yeah, I think the big difference between this one and the first one was that all the cutscenes were just animated film from Studio Ghibli, whereas everything's done through Game Engine. So
I want to ask you a question before you really get going.
Sure.
This is just to see what Chris's trivia gives us, right?
What are Ghibli's?
Okay. No,
I'd like to know
no.
that too.
You can ask him that. That can be your question to Chris. But Chris, if I said, if you Google Ni No Kuni II
yes,
and you type just the word Nino in, what do you think the number 1 hit is?
Ooh, can I do it while he's answering?
remember this is subjective because your phone, it's your search history was catered to.
No. I clear my data in my search.
Let me go with. So you type in Nino,
just Nino.
2 separate words, right?
Just the first word.
No, I do one word.
Just Ni.
Well, no, technically I put, this could be why it pulled up like that.
Oh, so Ni and No are the.
Yeah, I know, but I just did Nino.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. One word. So this is totally not relevant.
I don't know then. I have no idea.
You don't know any famous Ninos from movies?
Nero?
No, I'm saying Nino.
Finding Nemo.
Nino.
I know you got that, but I'm
Indiana Jones. No.
I'm trying to think of like things like that could translate.
It would have been from the mid 90s. He was a character in like a 90s ish.
Cookies.
Hansel and Gretel. What, Chris? No.
Cookie Monster?
Nino Brown.
I don't know.
You don't know Nino Brown?
Not a fan.
Oh, that could explain a lot.
Yeah.
Nino Brown was he was this guy. He was Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
Are you with me now?
I'm with you now. Gotcha.
I'm sorry, and I didn't even type it right, so all of that was wasted time.
Right?
But people liked it.
So this is the direct sequel from, well, not direct sequel, but the sequel by Level 5, who made the first game, to Ni No Kuni Wrath of the White Witch, which came out back in 2011. And there have been some 3DS games they've made, and I think also maybe a Vita game or something like that, or PS Go, whichever one it was. I don't know. But the good thing is, if you didn't play the first one, like I didn't,
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter because, it's actually set in a completely different time period. It's like hundreds, if not thousands of years after the first game. Completely all new characters. You don't need to know much. You might get a little bit more out of certain things if you do have the context, but it's not required at all. So the idea of this game is that it follows primarily, there are other characters, of course, in your party, but primarily follows
this.
The story of two people. One, Evan Pettywhisker Tildrum,
Yes.
the heir apparent at the beginning of the game to the kingdom of Ding Dong Dell.
Yes.
Isn't that just a great name?
That is the greatest thing ever.
You just tell it's for children.
It made me very happy.
Yes, and he is a boy prince, the apparent heir, and he is due at the start of the game to be crowned king because his father has died unexpectedly. Yes, very suddenly.
Yeah.
And under mysterious reasons and sickness kind of stuff. And the other main character is Roland Crane, who this is where you get to Japan right here. So at the very, very start of the game, the first thing you see is Roland. He's an old man. He's riding in his vehicle in like a limo. And it's supposed to be Earth, and basically like the limo, as far as the emblems and everything, very much gives off an impression of like this is like America or something like that.
Like what?
Like America. He's the president of some company or country that seems to look like America as far as first glance, as far as symbolism. So as he's riding, he's just going to an event, right? He's old man. All of a sudden, this missile comes across the sky.
This what?
Missile.
Missile.
I heard it's a missile.
Missile.
Missile from America.
I'm sorry. I've been playing Far Cry for the last game. So this missile comes across the sky and strikes the city in front of him, blows it up. Blast comes towards his car, gets like pushed off the bridge. You're like, oh my God, he's dead. That kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, the screen goes white when it comes to. He's woken up in this world of Ni No Kuni. I'm not sure if that's like the actual technical name, but we'll just say the world of which these games take place.
Yeah, you're right. It says in the world of Ni No Kuni.
Yeah.
So you're right.
So instead of being an old man now, he finds himself as a 20-year-old man.
Yes.
Yeah, right. He's got long, flowing black hair.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does. And
Specimen.
he finds himself before a very befuddled Evan, who is like, who are you?
Why are you here? Where'd
How
you
the
come
heck
from?
did you get here?
Yep.
What is this weird suit you're wearing? Because he's wearing, like a suit and tie.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't really fit into the culture. But before they have time to solve these issues, the kingdom gets overtaken by a coup because apparently the closest advisor to the king had actually done the stuff to get him killed and now was overthrowing the government, trying to take over everything.
He goes straight to spoilers. He doesn't care.
No, this is just kind of like the setup to getting him on his quest.
kidding.
It's really not the main. I thought it would be, but it's not. Like,
I trust your judgment.
yeah. Like, so basically Evan and Roland, they're forced very quickly to kind of bond and get the hell out of danger.
Whoa!
You know, that's what they're trying to do. I know. I said it.
No,
H-E
I
double.
wasn't talking about that. I meant the danger.
He was thinking that though.
No, he wasn't.
I was thinking about being forced to bond. I hate it when I'm forced to bond.
But do you?
You know me.
Without spoiling anything, there's some sadness and stuff like that.
There's some sadness.
Yeah, you just talked about a missile and death.
No. That world, that's Earth. No one cares about Earth in this world.
Like what?
But basically, Evan is put on a path where he can either just go off into nothingness, just say, hey, at least I got away.
Right.
But he doesn't want to do that. He feels like he's a king and he's his son's heir. and he needs to form a new kingdom. So that's kind of what the game at its core is that Evan goes off to create a new kingdom, which he eventually calls Evermore, and wants to build a kingdom that eventually lives in peace. He always comes back to saying things like, I want everyone to be happily ever after.
So when they find out about the coup, they decide they got to leave Ding Dong Dale.
Yeah.
John, this is serious stuff.
This is a serious story, John.
I must have missed that part where his name was Ding.
No,
the city is called Ding Dong
Dale.
The kingdom of Ding Dong
Where were you?
Dale.
You
Butterflies and clouds.
Butterflies in the
Ding Dong.
sky.
Where are you from? Ding Dong Dale.
So they leave Ding Dong Dale to go make Evermore.
Yeah, so they go off to do it. And like the first 5 or 6 hours of the game is really that process of like where Evan is getting to the point where he can seriously be able to get to a position where he can make it. Like, first off, the big thing you learn about this world is that kings share this relationship with things called kingmakers, and it's called king's bond between the two. So like that morning when he was going to get crowned, that was the point. He was going to go forge a bond with the kingmaker of Ding Dong Dell. And like the idea is that they're these big mystical beasts that their job is to protect the cities that they rule over, that the kingdoms rule over. So
Roland left to do that?
No, Roland is just rolling with it.
Oh, okay.
He's just there being like, I gotta help this kid because it's the right thing to do, and I don't know how the hell I'm getting back to Earth. So let's just do this.
Let's do this because why not?
And it makes sense because he's a former leader or has been a leader, so he has the life experience to pass on to Evan as far as an advisor role. But like the first couple hours, it's kind of like teaching you before you get to that point. It's like this quest to kind of get anointed. So he's got to go find his own kingmaker and forge that bond. And then also kind of it's those first 5 or 6 hours is really teaching you a lot of the base systems that you get for the next 40 or 50 hours, however long you're going to end up playing this game, which is good because it like, there are certain games I know, like John, you and I have played, like where I know I've had complaints or other people have complaints where it feels like when you don't get to what the core of the game is, the first couple hours, you're just like, God, that's a big waste. You're like, I wish this got into it fast. This never feels like that. It's like, okay, we've shown you this step and now you're logically ready to take this step. It makes sense that you're at this point now. Mm-hmm. So Evan makes friends along the way early on. He forges his king's bond. I won't spoil what it is or what he looks like.
And Evan, okay.
Evan's the king. Yeah.
So he's the guy you play with.
Yeah. Well, you could play with any of them, but I mean, yeah. So, combat.
So many double heroes.
So, he goes off on this quest, and through his quest, you start to experience like all these different kingdoms. And this is like where this game starts to get cool, is that every kingdom kind of has a unique thing going on. They have a unique style. Like the first one you'll come across is this place called Goldpaw, which is kind of like an Oriental Las Vegas. Like it's very Chinese in heritage and design. And it's very apparent that's what it is. But the cool thing that goes on with it is that the concept of the city is that it's not just a casino. Everything from the court systems to the taxes is all based on luck. Like you could present as a lawyer, you could present the greatest case in the world, but then they have to roll a die. And if the die comes up in favor of the defendant, it doesn't matter.
So why do the case?
Because to present the facts, and you do the case before this statue that's called Lady Luck, which is supposed to be like a deity to them.
So in theory, if you present the case, luck will be in your favor.
Luck will be in your favor because, luck is always on the right side, that kind of thing. There's
That's exactly how our justice system works.
There's another city where there's
Games? May the odds ever be in your favor?
There's another city where like emotion and love isn't allowed, and like there's a big all-seeing eye.
I like this place.
Consistently like looking and yeah, there she is again.
Oh my God. You don't smell it? Mm-mm. She heard us talking, I guess, earlier. She's going around to let us know.
Speak up to the mic, man. Tell us what you're feeling.
I can't right now.
Anyways,
Apparently Penny is gassy today.
That's where the nasty is.
but anyways, she, you go around this city and this eye is always watching people. And the moment it sees you do something that you're not supposed to, you get arrested.
I would be in so much trouble.
Is it like the Eye of Sauron, or is it more like
Kind
the
of like
Eye of
that.
the Lich King?
More like the Eye of Sauron,
Okay, that's pretty cool.
but it's like big and blue instead.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
thick and blue?
Big and
Big and
blue.
blue.
Oh, yeah, that's obviously
Yeah,
that's
not
not.
girthy and juicy, John.
But so as you go around and you're exploring, you eventually kind of come across the main story, which is really about this evil force. I won't really describe it completely here. That basically is going around and he's trying to mess with the king's bonds between kingmakers and kings, which is a big deal.
So this evil entity is trying to destroy the very foundation of the world.
Pretty much.
Is it
because basically whenever if a king in a kingdom and a king's bond or a kingmaker don't have a bond for long enough, eventually the kingsmaker will destroy that kingdom. So as you break those bonds, if they're not repaired, eventually, your kingdom will fall.
kind of like friendships?
Yeah.
Touch me.
Not you. Only him.
Yeah, he's talking about me, John.
They'll never know.
He hates you,
Yeah.
but he loves you at the same time. It's so crazy in his mind sometimes.
If you just not eat the Penny's just like getting all up in here today.
It's fine. It's about love. So that's actually kind of cool. It's a little, because that can impact. I mean, obviously when they make the game, they already know which stories are going to get impacted by not keeping the bonds together. It's not like it's a natural thing that's just happening as you're playing.
Yeah.
It's not based on decisions you make. It's there, but
I've heard
it's
nothing,
a nice component.
I've heard nothing about this game that I hate. Mm-hmm. And now that the world or whatever is called Ding Dong Dell,
You're like, I'm buying
I'm buying
this.
this game.
You have to. I don't
Ding
know.
Dong Dell.
You only see Ding Dong Dell right at the beginning so far.
Right? And then it's gone.
So the big change that I think most people are noting from the first one is that unlike the first game, which the combat was more of like, I guess, traditional Pokemon and JRPG, go through the list, pick your person, what the attack is. This one is completely fluid, like classic action hack and slash games with like magic abilities and such mixed in. You have 3 people that can fight any time from your party. You have to, once the fight starts, you can't switch them out, but they're there up until that point. You can change who you're controlling of those 3 at any point if you want to. And the idea is like every person has 3 weapons, 3 main weapons. All right. Mm-hmm. They can each be unique and have different properties. As you do damage to energy, each weapon that you're using has a gauge. I think it's called a zing gauge, something like that.
Ding Dong Gauge.
There you go. Ding dong gauge. Official. You heard it here, folks. And like that builds up. And when it gets to 100%, if any of them get to 100%, the one you're using, it will keep building up the other one, the gauges on the other ones. But once you're at 100%, it does efficiently more damage. Like you'll get more strikes in. There'll be critical strikes in. And the big thing is, whatever specials you have, magic abilities or whatever, they're heightened as far as their effectiveness. So your idea is like you always want to have 1 or 2 of your swords at 100% because when you throw that special out there that will do massive amount of damage on your baddies, it also depletes the gauge back down to 0 for that weapon. So then you want to switch over to another weapon that has 100% already ready, and you let the other ones build back up that you just depleted, and you keep repeating the cycle back and forth. On the other hand, there's also these little things when you're going throughout the battle called Higgledies. You've seen them.
Say it one more time.
Higgledies.
Okay.
Japan.
Yeah, he's not making that up.
No, I'm not at all. They're kind of the, I guess... Everyone's freaking out because the screen went black for a second. Like, they're kind of like buffs is the best way I can say. Like, there are these little things you find throughout the world. Mm-hmm. You can train them up. They all have different properties. Some like do healing, some do shield, some do just straight up blast damage. Others will cast status effects, those kinds of things.
But they're the little fairy looking creatures.
Yeah. And as you're going around the battle and it progresses, you'll see like circles form around them, which means you can run up and activate them and they'll do whatever you need. So you're like, oh man, I'm getting low on health. Let me go to that Higgledy right there because I know he's my healing Higgledy and activate him.
What's up, Higgledy?
Yeah. And they're like, wee! And that kind of gives you the boost. The other thing you would also use during battles is items. Of course, like any traditional RPG. But the cool thing I like about it is like, you know how like when you play something like Final Fantasy or whatever, you can get like 99 potions and therefore pretty much as long as you manage it effectively and you're not just an idiot, you never worry about dying from that, unless like there's like a one hit move from the boss. That's not the case here. It's like, no, you might have 99 in your inventory, but you get to use 10 for everyone involved. It's not 10 each. It's like 10 for the whole entire fight, whichever the instance is. So like you can only revive people when they're down so many times. You can only recharge their magic or give them food boost or anything like that. Like you have to be aware. Yeah. It puts a limitation as to like how powerful you are, which is good because if honestly, the one thing I think a lot of people are going to notice in this game is that it's like not the most difficult combat ever. There are a couple of enemies out throughout the world. Of course, the boss fights you have to be smart with, but outside of like some enemies in the world that kind of equate to mystics or heroics, Sean would understand that.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Outside of those instances, which are meant to be challenging and pay off for a big amount, you just have to kind of deal with it, or like most times you're just not going to have a problem with your battles. I think most people, as long as you're just doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're not a complete freaking idiot, most battles will be a breeze.
This is where I have to say it's probably because it was on easy mode.
There is no easy mode.
It's just the thing that I got to do.
I hate Jeff.
I'm kidding. I mean, so it's a game that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? It looks beautiful. And you're saying it pretty much, it's not the hardest game in the world. It plays good.
No.
It's got kind of a fun, whimsical story that
its story is, like I said, it's mainly about building a world.
Yeah.
I think the biggest complaint I've heard from people who played the first game is that the first game is much more
like backstory?
personal story. It's about a young boy and trying to save his mom. Whereas this is much more about a young boy trying to change the world. So some people didn't.
It's a different perspective.
Yeah,
for sure.
Some people enjoyed that more. The characters are, for the most part, they all have great personality, distinct personality that you meet in your party, and they're all enjoyable and I'd say developed, but they're not anything deep. There's not like some other thing like when Roland goes back like, well, Evan, let me tell you about the time I had an abortion before I came to this world or something like that.
Yeah.
You're not going to have anything like that. And obviously it's designed that way because I would actually say this is definitely a game that has the idea of classic JRPGs in mind where like, sure, maybe you might hit a couple of high complex themes, but they're definitely things designed first and foremost to be family friendly to anyone. Tinley could play this game if she could understand all the systems in it.
Yeah.
Or I was thinking actually Holden, Jeff's son, like I was thinking about this, like if you had say you have both a PS4 and a Switch, right? And last year you had a child who really loved playing Wildlands. Yep. Ghost Recon Wildlands on Switch. Yeah. But Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
This might be a great game if someone wants to say like, okay, you've seen a kind of like more action adventure straight, not so much RPG, but just, open world game. And you want to see if a kid is interested in going into that next level and being able to give them an RPG that isn't overly complicated, but more importantly, isn't in a way where like, if they're not of age yet, you have the issue of like things like The Witcher and all that, where there's very big adult themes that maybe you don't want your child yet to see.
Yeah.
This is a great game for you because I think it definitely doesn't hold your hand completely all the way through. It does give you a lot of systems to work with, but it would be a great stepping stone where I'd be like, okay, you've played this. Well, that's cool. Why don't you go back and play some of the classics like Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy 3 or any of the early Final Fantasies, really. And it would build up that appreciation. So then, like, when they do get of age, they can go out there and do the Mass Effects, the Witchers, and all those kinds of games. So I really would suggest this. Like I said, if you're a parent and you have a kid that has a PS4 and a Switch and he really loved Zelda, I think there's a chance he may find there's a lot to love in this game too, and build that core on for the future.
Interestingly enough, just as a fun fact, Chris, you mentioned there was some handheld titles in the series.
Sure.
Ni No Kuni Dominion of the Dark came out on Nintendo DS in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Wrath of the White Witch is an enhanced version of that game.
Correct.
So I didn't
know that.
Yeah. But the rest of the iterations have been like some mobile games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say that. Hot Roit stories.
Well, you seem to appreciate the story.
Sure.
Some of the stuff I read today and kind of prepping what you were going to talk about is that this is almost like a classic fairy tale.
Yes, it is.
The good guy and those things always win. There's a little bit of,
I don't know. I haven't beat it, so I can't say for sure.
Well, no, I'm just saying in general, in the fairy tales, good wins, good beats evil. And it's sometimes hard for adults because we're old and stuff happens for us to like appreciate that for what it is. It can just be simple and fun and good hearted. So, I mean, like I said, it tempted me to want to play it. And when I walked in a couple of weeks back when you had it on, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
It looks really good. And one of my biggest concerns that you pointed out was the way the fighting is. I'm so turned off by the old JRPG kind of load up this attack, watch what happens kind of thing. I'm more of like, if I hit B, I'm swinging a sword. Let's do this.
And that's pretty much what this is.
Right.
I mean, you're either doing a magic ability, which you're hitting a button, or you're doing slashes and jumps and dodges and rolls and all that kind of stuff. Like, all that's here. So I think, like, if you're more of the action hack and slash guy, there's a lot to like here versus, like, classic. Yeah. Go through the progression, always be looking at all these subsystems and how you have to prepare 3 moves ahead. That's not here. Which is good.
Well, I mean, like, yeah. I was going to say, people are like, well, don't you play World of Warcraft? It's different from what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's like still kind of in a way hack and slide. You're just pressing a button to do a very long animation, right?
Yeah.
And you're doing a rotation of stuff.
I don't have to stop and wait on anything.
Yeah.
Well, this game, while it looks beautiful, would you say it's pushing the system?
It's definitely, well,
because I'm wondering if it could. I look at it and I can immediately see it on the Switch.
What? No, dude. Some of those levels look like whoa. I'm not saying that the Switch can't do that.
The Pro is always like when I'm playing this. So
what is that? A sound effect for?
It's the fan.
Is that the?
Yeah,
it's the
fan. It's the loudest console ever.
I'm sorry.
I'm saying is that his official?
That was a sincere answer to your question. I didn't realize you were just.
Is that? But I'm saying, is that more of a? Is that the official sound for overworked PS4 Pro?
Yes.
I never hear mine do that.
I think it's because it sits down there and he never dusts it off.
But it's got plenty of air.
But air brings dust.
But at the same time, mine sits like probably 10 feet away from me at any given time. So
I hear mine all the time from right here.
I will say though, my old PlayStation 4.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It would chug.
You got anything
else? I don't know. I mean,
I'd like to see at least the first one. Because the developer said they were now committed to putting their games on the Switch.
Oh.
So I was just wondering if at some point they might put the first Ni No Kuni on the Switch. I'd like to see that.
I don't know if they've
not that it matters, but
I don't know if they've got an exclusivity deal because I was wondering
nothing like that.
I was wondering why this game wasn't on Xbox. Like it's on PC.
Yeah, it's on Microsoft PC, so it can't be.
It's really weird that it's like not on Xbox. Yeah. I don't know.
Did you say it's on Microsoft PC?
Microsoft owns the PC, Sean.
I know.
The official. They're like the official.
In other words, it's not on Steam, right?
Well,
okay,
that would be where you get it.
Well,
you get it on Steam. Okay.
I'm trying to help you.
Help me. I mean, what am I saying?
I don't know. It's just the fact that you had to let us know that it was Microsoft's PC that made me giggle.
It's specified in Wikipedia, and you know they don't lie.
I know, but
You don't say Steam usually. It's pretty rare. Steam's just a platform for it. But
I know it's a store.
Do you?
About the only time
I just thought that. Look, I'm ignorant. Okay, I just thought that games like Sea of Thieves would not be purchased on Steam.
I think you can.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, it's just Microsoft Windows, or like like you can link it to Microsoft games.
I just figured they had their own store.
They tried.
That would limit their sales.
Okay.
Yeah,
like harshly.
Yeah, the only one who's really dumb enough to always still do that, I believe, is EA. EA pretty much forces you to go through.
There goes that sponsorship, Chris.
We don't. Do we want that?
Do we not?
We are covering their game next week.
Yeah.
What do we?
Yeah.
Really?
So, as far as subsystems,
today.
So it's just to go quick, like there are some cool subsystems that go like through this game. The big one is, and John, you'll appreciate this, like you actually build up your kingdom. Like, you know, it is like kind of like that Assassin's Creed 2
Garrison
thing.
style.
Like, like you get a kingdom and it starts out very simple. And then you start building shops, and you can build like your spell shop, your armor shop.
Spell shop.
I wish they'd go back to that in Assassin's Creed.
All that.
I miss it.
And the way that's interesting with it, though, is that it's not just like get money and pump it in there and then like let it build up on its own and you really don't have any input to it. Mm-hmm. The way it really requires you to...
Did she fart again? What did you feed her?
Beef.
Why would you do that? Is it what she always eats?
I thought she just crapped on the floor. I'm sorry. That just hit me in the mouth.
I'm so sorry.
My God.
What did you change?
I gave her sausage treats.
Don't change anything.
And when she went to the bathroom earlier, I was like, ooh, that's kind of runny.
Oh, man.
Do not change things like that on record day.
That's funny.
Let that work out.
But anyways, like, so the way you build your kingdom up or is required to build your kingdom up, you have to go out there and get citizens to come to your kingdom. And the way like that works is this thing is like you consistently go back to places you've been because that's where you'll find citizens who have a need or something like that. And you go out there and do a quest. And afterwards they'll say, hey, I'll come and join your kingdom and all that kind of stuff, which is cool because there's not like a lot of like storytelling side quests.
I'm sorry.
It's more of,
man, I'm really sorry.
No. So there's no story side quest? It's just main story plus like town stuff?
There might be like little things, but that's the get is that you are consistently invested in helping people because you know if I help that person, this person's like a master armor. He's going to come back and he's going to make all my armory increase that much, and then I can develop better armor for myself.
That's a weird.
So like you have an incentive to go and meet every single person who's out there and see like what they can do for you.
So every side quest benefits you directly in some way?
I mean, most of them are to get civilians. Other ones are for gear and things like that, which is kind of traditional stuff. But I wouldn't normally want to do that grind of doing all those little fetch quests. Yeah.
But it's a payoff.
Yeah, like
in one form
and that's
or
what
another.
I want for it. Like I prefer the Horizon Zero Dawn, like Witcher 3 type stuff where it's like, here's a big side quest that has nothing to do with the main story. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to live with it though if you tell me I'm going to do something and I get a benefit for it. Like I in the end get stronger, not the other way around. There's also a whole entire system with army battles. So it's like you have like an army and you go into this overhead mode battle where you recruit different types of units and go against armies on the battlefield. And it's kind of cool because it's like each type of unit, like whether it be like swords or spears or hammers or bow and arrows, they have a strength and they have a weakness, like a corresponding one.
Right.
And they each have their own colors. So you kind of you have to constantly go back and forth, like rotating your armies around to make sure the right force is going. And then it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors type probability thing, like the better probability for if you're matching the right strength. And like Evan, at the same time, he can do things like call reinforcements in. He can call in like airstrikes and things like that. He can encourage them to charge, which will make them do more damage. All that kind of stuff. So it's a cool, like, it's not the most deepest mini game, but it's a fun one. And where like, again, you see the benefit because it gives you stockpile for your kingdom, and it gives you tons of gear you can't get elsewhere in the game. So just things like that.
Cool.
Wrapping up, the things I don't like about the game.
I do want, before you get into that, dude, you did not emphasize how, look at that kingdom. That's what you're building.
Yeah, it gets really big. Like, it starts out small, but I'm only on I've only built it up to level 2, and I have a bunch of areas I just haven't even had the time yet to put the people in.
Oh my!
I walked into the apartment and he had this
this
section of the game that had this aerial shot, like it was this top down perspective that looked really, really cool. That reminded me a lot of that. I don't know if that's what it's doing.
How do you say that word right there?
Evermore?
Suikoden?
Do you know what that is?
Suikoden?
Apparently, I just pulled up that article to see that. I wanted to see the town. And it says if you were missing and wishing you had Suikoden in your life,
okay,
then apparently this is the closest you've gotten to that since 2006. I don't know what that is.
I've not played. I've heard of it.
But that top down perspective that was on the TV was, I was like, that kind of looks like what Octopath Travelers going for.
Oh God, I can't wait for that game.
Yeah, I'm interested.
It reminds me a little bit of Final Fantasy Tactics, a little bit from overhead, but without being squares. You just walk around, you do whatever.
But what do you hate? I mean, don't like.
Yeah,
hate. Yeah, I hate. So the voice acting is pretty good in this game, but the biggest problem I had was that outside of the cutscenes, it's like they don't talk that much, which like in a game today, like 2018, freaking Fallout has full dialogue recorded voice.
Right.
There's no reason to me why they couldn't have done that here. And it's like in the scenes, it's great, but then like the rest of the time, it's like they say one word or something, and then like the rest is read the text. Things like that. So it's kind of like,
and you hate to read.
Is that a small gripe?
I do. I read 5 books a week now.
Is that a small gripe or kind of?
Yeah, it's kind of like, you're like, it'd be more forgivable maybe if this was a Switch game.
Ooh.
See what I did there?
Well, I'm just thinking, it's fine.
Twist it, Chris. Twist it.
I'm thinking of the greatest game ever, which is World of Warcraft, and there's minimal talking in it.
Yeah, but that's a different thing.
Leroy
to me.
Jenkins.
That is a great quest. I got the title. It's amazing.
That's a game that like was made in 2004. I think like you're making it today, and again, that's an MMO with like nearly 300 hours worth of content. Can you imagine asking someone to download all that audio?
But there is some voice acting for the different scenes and things you run into, but
slow down.
That guy, he voices a lot of things.
Yeah.
By the way.
I know.
So voice acting. While good, limited.
Yeah, as I said before, there are these large, the game isn't that difficult. And while the boss battles, like I fought a freaking Yeti last night and it was awesome because he was hopping around.
That's what he said he fought, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a dragon.
No, when he said, buddy, I fought a Yeti and a dragon last night, and I said, I fought Legion people.
I was like, don't you always have to fight the Legion?
It was a little exchange we had. Sorry.
But like while those fights and like I said, those kind of like heroic one setups, aka mystics, whatever you want to call them, those are great and challenging. There are a lot of periods like where when you're grinding and you're going through a lot of the fights, unless you just have stumbled into an area you are supremely under leveled for, you're just breezing through. There's not a lot of thought. You should be able to handle yourself no problem. And that can, after doing it for 30 hours, you're going to get to a point where you're like, well,
you played this game for 30 hours?
Yeah, I'm about 30 hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the give and take. It's a great story. It's fairy tale-ish, but it's easy.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
it's definitely
really easy.
Yeah. This is not Dark Souls.
Right.
Is it? But you mentioned before we recorded that the systems were a little complicated.
They can be, yeah. Like
and
there's depth to them.
That's the challenge of
like figuring out the best balance between everything and really making sure you don't completely ignore one part of the game. Like you don't want to ignore your kingdom or ignore your army because it may come a point you need that. If you haven't built it up, well, you're about to be screwed. And that's the thing. Like again, like
there's that Montana coming out.
I don't even know if he realized he did it.
Montana.
You about to be
he doesn't. I don't think he knows.
And then the other thing, as I said before, the characters are well defined, but at the same time, they're just there's not anything complex behind them. They're just kind of there.
I think that's going to change when you beat it. I read some things.
We'll see. There is a boy that's like mysterious, and I don't know who that.
He said, "There's a boy.
There's a boy. There's a
Got some
boy."
mysteriousness about him.
But on the other hand, quick hits likes, as I said, animation is beautiful. When there is voice acting, it's great. All these systems feel like someone really thought them out, and they work interchangeably, and you need. It really helps if you can master everything in this game. You're going to be very dominant, and it makes sense. You should be that way. As I said, the side quests feel like there is a reason to do them. Each city feels like a unique, real place. Nothing just feels like it's been skinned over. And that can, in an RPG, you can get that a lot. You're like, oh, another town. Yep.
Oh, this tunnel system's exactly like the other tunnel system I was in.
Oh, look, I'm in another desolate town in Fallout.
I know.
Someone's probably got radiation.
Yeah, we do from Penny's farts.
Anyways.
So show us your Richard.
Hey, are you?
I thought about this. I went back and forth.
Do you want to score it yet? Because you haven't finished it.
No, I feel confident. I don't, unless like
He's not going over an 8. I'm calling it right now.
No, he'll go over an 8.
I don't think he's going over an 8.
This is definitely over an 8.
If he's willing to give a Richard without completion, which is very hard to do, by the way.
why don't you read the bottom?
Oh, I need to read. Oh my God. I can't say that out loud. I'll just say this. He went over an 8.
Like I said,
I guess you know him better than I
know
do.
his Richard better than you.
I bet you do. You did live with him for
Been in his
years.
mouth for a long time.
What?
Wait, what?
What?
He walked into it.
Something smells amazing.
It's not.
It's not Penny. What? It smells like a roast or something
upstairs,
now.
yeah.
How do we go from the depths of Penny and her anus?
I'm not over it yet. I can't smell a
that.
thing. My nostril hair is burned out. Jeez.
Anyways, yeah,
tasted it.
They've seen it.
Yeah, we've seen it. We know the result. The results are in.
Yeah, it's an 8.5. I went back and forth between that and an 8. And
When this ending happens,
it's got 3 little knocks. It's not the greatest, deepest story I've ever experienced, but I think, as I said before, if I was a child, I think this could be the kind of thing that launched me into wanting to know more about JRPGs and RPGs.
what was if you think back right now, right, to your childhood, what was that one game you played that made you love video games?
Final Fantasy.
You mean RPGs?
Or in general, that took you to like,
Final
I love
Fantasy
these.
10.
You're like
So
coming
I'm saying,
when I was
a kid to this age, like a kid around like a younger kid.
like about this point was when I discovered Chrono Trigger.
So you're saying this could be some kid's Chrono Trigger.
Sure. Yeah, or their Final Fantasy 6.
Nice.
I mean, those were the two that
Nice.
Same year.
Hey,
Wait, what?
sorry,
They
dude.
came out the same year.
I thought you said same here, and I was like,
No.
you have not played those games,
Crazy
John.
is we have headphones on. How do we not hear each other better?
Did I scream at you?
No.
You did. You were really mean.
Say no, you did.
God, it smells like burnt ham. Jeez.
That smells good though, don't it?
It's not.
Speaking of weird foods, before we get into that, so at work, I'm smelling a banana for like weeks. I smell a banana when I'm at work, right? Like the smell of a banana,
Okay.
like almost banana
Yeah,
breadish.
Bates.
And you're like, what in the hell is that smell?
Smell?
Smell.
What's that smell? Ooh, what's
There's
that
your
smell?
Montana.
So as I'm walking out the building today,
Wait, was that your Skinner? That was a terrible.
yeah, it was. I got this drink right here that I'm gonna put on Twitter later. That I tried it for the first time, and I went to put it in the little, side pocket on the outside of your book bag that could hold something like a drink.
Yeah. There you go.
And it hits, and I'm like, what is that? I pull out the most ripe
Banana
ever. You know how banana
it
goes
was
from green
black.
to yellow to black? Dude, I went, oh my God. It was me. I was the source of the banana for weeks.
You were banana guy.
It was crazy. Needless to say, I did not take a picture of that. I could not get it in the trash fast enough because I thought it would
But
explode.
it didn't smush in on you.
It was
Thank God.
amazing. I know, that would have been terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ni No Kuni II. Go get it.
I'm hoping it's not me.
This one time, a friend of mine crapped in my backpack.
Like, freely?
Or like really crapped in my backpack.
For the joke, or like he
for
had
the joke.
to?
For the
Okay.
joke. I put a
sounds like
bag of
Adam.
crap. I put a bag of crap under his bed.
Oh, so it was retaliation.
And so he took that said bag of crap and put it in my book bag. So I was laughing at night. He was laughing all the way to breakfast.
We had that one night where someone blocked the car, like in the driveway, and decided to pass out drunk. So, decided to go get a grocery bag and took a dump and threw it in the guy's car. And apparently the next day, it was like in the middle of July, they were going to Atlanta.
Ooh.
And it took about till 2 p.m. when they realized something wasn't quite right.
Oh, we were just amazing today on the fecal talk,
right? Weekly fecal chat.
Hey, but I want to see if John
this is a kid's game.
I want to know if John ends up getting this game, and I want to know what you think when you complete it. I know you'll finish it.
Yeah,
you're probably close.
No.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
No, I am.
It's probably a long game.
It's one of those things I can't rush it because I'm like I have to.
Well, I mean,
John knows me. Like with this, I will gladly, even when I'm not building or like playing the game, I will leave the game on simply so I can accrue coin to spend on my kingdom.
I mean, we
have
friends that are still playing Far Cry 5, but you put that on easy mode, so you don't have to play that anymore.
Why don't you come play it? See how you do.
I'm just kidding. That's just me being funny for people that listen.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see some of these people play Dark Souls. Then
I would dominate Dark Souls.
We're gonna do we should do for our first
Let's play
Twitch streaming series.
Let's play.
We'll do
Sean plays Dark Souls.
Yeah.
No. Sean plays Resident Evil 7.
And then our second one will be John plays PUBG.
Do you remember me playing Resident Evil? You weren't in the...
I never... The night I was going to chime in to listen, you stopped playing. Which is not... I didn't mean that as...
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. Jeff's laughing again now at me.
I just meant I regret that I didn't.
But you know what?
You
know who's a little... how can I say this delicately? Who's a little fraidy cat to play something in VR?
Yes.
Jeff.
Yeah, I've heard that.
He won't play the game he loves in VR.
God. That's a
Resident Evil 7.
Game.
He's a baby.
He said it was scared enough.
I mean, I played Batman in VR.
Ooh.
Batman.
Hey, I saw Wayne and Martha get murdered. It was really sad.
They even put that in the game?
Yeah.
Enough about everything Batman. We got to remind you how Batman became Batman. His parents died.
But there's always someone in the theater going, I don't know this story.
They'll figure it out. But every game,
Are you ready for Spider-Man VR when they shoot Uncle Ben?
Oh my God, I will lose my mind. We get it.
And he goes, with great power comes great responsibility. That's him dying.
Well, John has to pee, and we got to get in.
How did you know?
Because we know.
We just know.
We know at this point.
That's your sign.
Your bladder texted us.
Let's go to the news.
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
News.
You're not going to say news?
News.
That would have been 2 weeks.
That's the weakest
He
news.
didn't say it last week either.
He thinks he's so cool he doesn't have to say it.
No.
We're misreading that. We're misreading it.
I don't want your half-hearted newses now.
They can tell.
Newsies could tell.
Yeah.
Christian Bale told. He was in Newsies. Remember that?
No.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
First time I ever saw Christian Bale was Empire of the Sun by Steven Spielberg.
Underappreciated Steven Spielberg movie.
That's
I thought
subjective.
it was pretty boring. But in fairness,
you were like 8.
I was 8 years old.
Yeah. I would think that any 8-year-old that would be. And then he's like over watching 1941. He's like, this is it. This is Spielberg at his best right here.
That's funny.
First up, Spider-Man swings into action.
Ooh.
Should have put this fall. Then you would have had it perfectly, I think. Insomniac Games.
Subjective again.
Marvel's Spider-Man has a release date. It will be September 7th this year, surprisingly. Pre-orders are now open. The developer has released details on the DLC that will be available in 3 parts. Campaign will be called Marvel's Spider-Man, The City That Never Sleeps. I think that's an allusion to New York. A digital deluxe edition will be available for the US and Canada. And with that game will be the season pass and a pinup of Spider-Man.
Not a pinup, Chris.
Oh, a pin.
Think about what a pinup is.
Yeah. Spider-Man just
Look at
sitting there
that.
all sexy.
Yeah. He's just like, hey. That'd be good if they did it with like a Deadpool.
That would fit with Deadpool.
yeah.
or
very much.
Mary Jane. What? What?
Just Deadpool, John.
The collector's edition will be available in all countries and will include a steel bookcase, mini art book, and a statue of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Finally, all pre-orders of any edition will come with 3 extra Spider-Man suits. I think they showed like they had a punk suit. Apparently, there's like a lot of suits you can get in this game.
Oh, of course. You got 60 years of Spider-Man history.
Yeah, they said he starts off with the classic black Spider-Man logo, and I guess like for web reasons to be determined is how they transition to how he looks in the game itself, where it has the big white logo.
I could care less. Just play good. Then I'll worry about how you look.
Did
You could care less means that you care. I think what you meant to say was I couldn't care less.
Thanks for the live update on how I should talk.
Nimrod.
Yeah. I don't know if you know how old I am, but I'll talk how I want to, John.
Did you guys see the new gameplay footage that came out with this? Cause
I did.
You mean what was I doing with myself when I watched it?
Oh my god!
We remembered why we were so hype about it.
Oh gosh.
How is?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if this game comes out, and even if Last of Us or
here it goes.
the other one,
Here it goes.
Days Gone, were to come out this year, does Sony automatically like won this year? Because like, think about it, they have this year alone, Ni No Kuni, right? Came out. They have God of War coming out here next week or whatever.
I think it's next Tuesday.
Yeah, like not next Tuesday, the end of next week, isn't it?
The 20th.
Because the 15th is Sunday. So it's like, it's the back half of the week type thing.
Friday.
Yeah. And then the month after that, they got Detroit Becomes Human. And then now this fall, they're going to cap it off with freaking Spider-Man on
See,
top
I'm
of...
an equal opportunity corrector. Detroit does not become human.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that was getting great reviews from people we know and people we don't know.
Yeah.
On
At PAX East.
Yeah, PAX East.
We
this
had
weekend.
Andrew played it this weekend. I need to ask him what he thought of Below, too, because I told him to go play that for me.
You asked him to go play it.
I was like, please go
You
play
didn't tell
that.
Andrew to do anything. You understand? That's not how Andrew rolls.
I'm punching Sean right now. But yeah, like you think of that, and then like on top of that, you add in all the other games that everyone else, like between Xbox will also have. Like they're gonna have Red Dead this fall. They're gonna have a new Battlefield this fall. They're gonna have a new Call of Duty this fall. Tomb Raider, those kinds of things. And it's like PlayStation's on track if these things all work out. I don't know how anyone could beat this.
What was Tomb Raider's date?
Tomb Raider's in September, I think, also right around the same time.
Remember?
I'm trying to tell you, John. Everyone is. Have you noticed? Has anyone found a game that's coming out after October 26th yet? Because I have yet to see it.
No.
Everyone is running. Everyone is preparing. Like, watch. You'll see Forza Horizon 4 coming out September 15th.
I don't think they're running for the reason you think, but that'll just be what I believe.
Yeah,
I look.
you can be wrong. It's
We've
cool.
seen the gameplay for this game.
Mm-hmm.
The combat zipping around New York City looks amazing.
Sure.
But everybody's concern, at least my concern, is it's still an empty shell of a city. And after hours of swinging around New York City,
Right.
you go, okay, there's really nothing to do except help little old ladies cross the street.
If it's that, it's going to
that's
fail
what I
miserably.
want.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Spider-Man helps little old ladies, Sean.
No, you don't. I know.
Just
I know.
like if I was Superman, I'd want to fly up to the tree and grab the cat out of it.
I
and
just-
go, ma'am,
You know what we're talking about,
I
Chris.
know what you're talking about.
I just hope it gives you tons to do.
I would say
I don't want tons. I want a good amount.
I want tons.
I
I want an excuse to zip through this city as often as possible, as much as I want to go back to it.
There are a few developers I will put my faith in as
And I hate you.
easily.
That's nice.
Is
I was giving you a head nod of approval, John.
It looked condescending.
there?
So basically, I look like a condescending Richard.
Yes.
Anyway,
That's good to know.
So there are a few developers out there right now, as far as and just about anything they try that I have as much faith in as Insomniac games. So I mean,
Well, thanks for
I
that
don't-
tidbit.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
I have faith in them too. I just
yeah, and I watched the little video feature they did with Game Informer. Like they asked them 114 questions about the game, and they were like, "There's tons to do."
well, good. Okay, I didn't
Thanks,
see
Chris.
that.
Yeah,
Now that we know,
yeah. Hopefully, it comes out that way. Spyro returns. Hey, Spyro the Dragon is making a return to consoles just in time for its 20th anniversary. Activision has announced that Spyro Reignited Trilogy will contain the first games on PS1. That would be Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage, and Spyro Year of the Dragon. The trilogy will feature remastered graphics and sound and will be available for PS4 and Xbox One on September 21st. Another game coming out before October 26th.
Spyro.
I know, but still, it's just fun. I can do that with every game you realize that gets a release date. And just think, we're coming up on E3, Sean.
I think it's an absolute shame at this point that these games are overlooking games like this. Not everything, but games like this are avoiding the Switch.
Sure.
I think that's a mistake.
Maybe it's
like they don't like money.
Maybe it's more. Well, I mean, we saw Crash Bandicoots now coming, so
yeah, now. But I think it's at some point you guys need to really. You guys.
Yeah, me.
need to adjust your development schedule to hit the Switch at the same time.
Yeah, but if you're them,
it's been long enough.
If you're Activision, you started this, say, like
it's been long enough.
2.5 years ago, and you weren't sure you were ready to bite on the Switch, and you waited till last fall, right? It might be one of those things where you're like, look, if we want to wait to release all three at the same time, because I think if they can put this game on Switch, it will be on Switch. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things where they're probably looking and going like, look, we need this out for this fall because, investors, right. we have profit margins we need to hit. And it's like, you get it out now and then you come back and you say, okay, it took us a little bit longer because we weren't originally working on this, but 3-4 months later, here it is on Switch. I think that's probably what's going to happen.
I'm not going to buy it either way.
We can't hear you.
I know.
I actually... looking at the pictures of it, and
you're gonna buy Spyro?
I played the original.
I've never
answer the question. Are you gonna buy this?
I'm curious.
Maybe not right away.
I don't think you're gonna buy it. I mean, I'm just saying.
My D just hit the table.
Yeah,
Richard is out.
You're not gonna buy it.
I might. We'll see. Probably not on September 21st.
Exactly.
Just because of when it's out. But I could buy it around Christmas and it wouldn't surprise me. But have you guys seen the differences? They put the difference from the original.
And I went,
and I was like, wow.
Still Spyro.
I mean, why do you hate dragons?
I don't hate dragons.
Why do you hate purple dragons? Named Spyro.
I don't know.
You just think you thought you hated Ni No Kuni.
No.
And you thought you hated all these other things.
Ni No Kuni 1, it was not for me.
Yeah, but you didn't even, that wasn't even on your radar.
No, I was because of Ryan Leaf. It was so much on his radar. He owned it and played it.
His perspective.
Yes, I will. Spyro, I played as a youngin'. It's terrible. It's the worst.
Just because you sucked and didn't have an easy mode.
I never played on easy mode, and I don't care about little purple dragons flying around and doing stuff.
It was fun getting the coins and stuff.
No, it wasn't. I played Mario.
PUBG. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I don't know why I had a brain fart there. Desert map Miramar is making its way to Xbox One in May. The map has been available since December for PC users. PUBG Corp, the owner of and developer of the online shooter, has launched a lawsuit against Chinese publisher NetEase, which claims it infringed its copyright by producing 2 games for the mobile device that bear a striking similarity to PUBG. The lawsuit refers to 2 games, Rules for Survival and Knives Out. Both of these games arrived on iOS before PUBG was ported to mobile. PUBG Corp is seeking damages as well as the removal of both games from the store. Miramar is fun. I know, I don't think Johnny didn't put this on here. The other big thing, the new map is also coming to the PC, the one that's supposed to be like straight up mimicking like a Fortnite design, and it's supposed to be for people like us that suck at PUBG apparently, and hoping to entice us back.
Why are you looking at me?
Are we going back?
I'm not going back.
We gotta go back.
I might go back.
Let's go back to that.
That's fine, but it's funny, the one guy that built the computer with you, I don't think he'll ever go back. He'll say he will, but he won't.
I'll be on the freaking chopper with Hurley and be like, come on, Jeff.
We got to come back.
Yeah, I don't really know about the Chinese stuff. I'm sure it's either one of 2 things. Either it's going to be someone, they don't have any claim to, or else it's going to be someone completely
when
ripping
I-
off
when
the
I-
game. So
when I see that, I'm like, so these are the people that you think straight up copied PUBG?
I can't say because I haven't seen, right? But if what if they made an exact copy of their map and it's like the exact same plane and
It's
the
to
exact
do
same.
with it's to do with the shrinking arena. That's one thing that's
Right.
that they blatantly ripped off.
Like Fortnite did.
Does it have a shrinking arena?
Yeah.
That's every battle royale game.
It's called the Desert
Okay, I didn't know all battle.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
You
know that's
push
what they
everyone
Because if
did.
together.
not, everybody would camp forever. It adds that
like I
element.
said,
Yeah.
It would be more concerning, like I said, to me, if it was like you looked at the map and you're like, God, that's just basically the PUBG map. That would be,
But the map is called Smearmar.
yeah. And then the game was called Battle Pubs
Yeah.
or Pub F.
I mean, this is not to disparage China, but they copy so much stuff.
No.
Because they don't allow it into the country to begin with. So you have mock games, copied games of everything that's popular in the West.
Or they apparently cheapen PUBG by a lot so they get banned by
To make their
PUBG
own.
Corp.
Yeah.
That's where all the cheaters are, they say. Fortnite mobile. After a gradual launch on mobile platforms, Fortnite's free-to-play has made over $15 million in less than a month. Obviously, this is due solely to in-app purchases. The average daily the average daily spent was around 1.8 million. The game has not yet made its way to Android, but we can expect another monster number when that happens.
How does that math add up?
I just thought that myself. I don't.
Yeah. So I guess
It's either way, it's a lot of money because it's free
Yeah.
and people are paying to get stuff in app.
I mean, say it was like 20 days and it's made 15 million. Where
Well, for a considerable amount of time, it was by invitation only,
yeah, I think it's just
and
now.
so for the last couple, maybe week and a half, it's been available to everybody.
That math's out if they're counting that because 10 days at 1.8 million is
Trust me, they're always counting it.
it's right. But that's good.
Yeah.
Fortnite's popular.
Speaking of which, who wants to ban the Fortnite?
It's so popular that people want to ban it.
Many have shown frustration, anger to their significant others for Fortnite taking away their time. Women have gone on social media and began petitions on change.org for a ban on Fortnite. The claim is that the game has robbed them of attention due to the game. The petition titled Get Rid of Fortnite has received more than 500 signatures. It's aiming for 1,000. When I hear that, I'm like, that's nothing.
That was the signatures are nothing, but for
Yeah.
me it was funny because this is the game that now you have a problem with your husband playing. That you're
I think that
addicted to.
will, if anything, it just speaks to how popular Fortnite really is right
Yeah.
now. But yeah, 500 to 1,000, like most petitions that even get a blip of notice from change.org are usually like 100,000 plus. So 500 and 1,000, them some angry wives, I guess, right?
I'm gonna say something very non PC. Maybe you should just be a better girlfriend
Yes, it's true.
or boyfriend.
Yeah, or whatever your other are. Exactly. You came
Letters.
back. You came back with the PC. You corrected it.
What's that?
I know,
look at
I did
We
that,
just got
didn't I?
20 pieces of hate mail. In the
No, it's
game
And that's the thing. Take care of your husband or spouse or wife, and you don't have to worry about them not
Yeah.
texting you back when you're playing Fortnite.
Look, this is. I think this is something that is in the back of every husband's mind, at least, or every boyfriend's mind. Maybe not everybody. I'm sorry. I just the idea that, are you playing this a little too much?
Mhm.
Have you talked to your wife today? I mean, when I was first dating my wife Clarissa,
Your wife.
it was around the time that Metroid Other M was coming out.
Yeah, I
And
remember that terrible game.
I was level 7 for Metroid.
Oh, yeah.
And I would bring it up every day, and it started to freak her out. I'm like, who am I dating? I didn't know this
See.
guy was a gamer.
Here's the thing, though.
Most people aren't upfront with it.
The thing you have to do is you have to be upfront that you like video games and that you're going to play video games or whatever the thing is. Take out video games or whatever.
Exactly.
And if they accept you at that point for what it is, it's fair game.
Mhm.
I play a ton of games nightly, and we have this kind of schedule of we do what we do. We come home, we have dinner. People. Everybody has their own kind of routine they do. And
Well, like Ryan-
for ours, gaming's a part of it. Yeah,
Well, like Ryan Leaf,
right.
he'll play games till 3 in the morning.
Sure, but like he also,
my point is, what works for him doesn't work for everybody else.
Sure.
If I were to do that or make some sort of attempt to, we'd be having a discussion.
If you started doing it, maybe if you went from 0 to 60 on your turn. I think if it's gradual and it just becomes part of what you do, I don't think it's a thing.
I kind of like view it as personally, like if I was at home, and I can only speak to myself. Like I'm sure, if I was married, I would or had kids, I'd play a lot less than I do now.
Maybe.
But it would be one of those things like where it's like, look, we're winding down for the evening. You want to go watch a show? Well, go watch a show. You want to read a book? Go read
you
a
make
book.
sure you still do a couple things.
Yeah.
No, I agree with all the idea that video games is a stigma in 2018 is a little bit. It's a cliche that needs to die.
Oh yeah.
Because the concept that you can sit there for 3 hours and read a book and nobody pass judgment on that, but you can spend 3 hours on a video game. What's the difference?
If you
you're engaged in an experience.
If you're sitting there all night on social media, commenting on your friends' posts and things like that, and you have a problem about your friends getting into a chat so that they're all to the point in their lives where they have wives and children. Therefore, it's really hard to get everyone together and hang out consistently. And they're able to spend 2-3 hours a night talking to those friends, keeping those bonds fresh.
Richard jokes left and right. Yep.
Even though they're not in the same room. I mean, and it makes you happy so you don't go insane from the idea of the fact that you two are idiots and decide to give up all your freedom to F whoever you wanted to and do whatever.
Chris,
I thought about being married and I thought about having kids, but then I decided I like doing whatever the hell I want with whoever I want, whenever I want. So that's what I do. But you two were idiots. And if you want to make that.
This took a U-turn.
But I think I'm just talking about my personal relationship, and I think there's merit to this. My wife having a problem with a 3 a.m.
Oh yeah. That's a different
I'm crawling into bed at 3 a.m. It's like
I agree.
Because all you do on Friday night.
Because you staying up at 3 a.m. isn't just about you anymore. It affects everything. It affects everything in the family. And if it doesn't affect Ryan Leaf, that's one thing, good for him. But it would affect me in my job. It would affect me in my attention to my kid.
Sure.
It will affect my performance.
You're right. And you spoke earlier before about the voice in your head. Mm-hmm. You need to know that you can balance it. There are some days that, like for me, example, I can stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock, and I have to get up to go into the office the next day. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it. But some nights later in the week, if I try to make that same decision again,
you're dead the next day.
I go, probably need to go ahead and go to bed. And
yeah.
If you can control that and you have your balance of I'm always imagining I'm holding a plate and it's got things on it, family, work, everything that your life. And as long as something doesn't get heavy on one side versus the other, and you can still balance everything nice and good, you're good.
It's called take care of your.
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
And in response to these ladies, I assume most of them are ladies. Forgive me if that's not the right assumption, but
I have no idea.
The issue should not be to ban the game.
Yeah.
It should be to drop your boyfriend like a bad habit.
Yeah, I mean,
this is true. Yeah,
that's what it is.
But see, they all have massive Richards, and they can't just drop the boyfriends.
People don't want to have to give up on people they love, so they want to blame something. I mean, exactly. that's just like that's America defined in a way.
Well, yeah, but if you're playing Fortnite to the extent that it's affecting your relationship,
then it's on you.
Process it.
Yeah.
And cut back a little. Apparently Fortnite's pretty good.
Yeah. It's quite popular. Drake plays it.
Drizzy Drake. Oh.
Yeah. Drake. Firewatch comes to Switch. Firewatch is coming to the Switch this spring, according to designer Jack Rotkin.
I think it's just Jake. I think it's just
Jake. Jack? Yeah. I'll just call him Jack.
Jack. It's clearly
his name
Jake.
was always Jack.
It's Jake.
He has to go back.
It's Jake.
He's not from State Farm.
That is the joke that won't die.
What, the lost joke?
We gotta go back.
It's
count back from 10.
John. It is.
John, count back from 10.
No. We have. We have. What's one of our jokes that we have together, John? Or that you have with anybody, John?
He's trying to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He literally pivoted.
It's called friendship and connection, John.
We've been hard at
You're wondering why
anyways,
you're not
old
in the top
Jake
10.
from State Farm says, we've been hard at work stripping much of Firewatch's tech down to the studs and rebuilding it to render the world more quickly, to stream and load faster, and to generally be more responsive. Plus, we're hoping to throw in a couple surprises for the Switch's release. Hopefully that surprise will mean...
Don't read that.
No,
Don't read that.
No, that ending is great,
Don't
John.
read that.
Yeah. John hates it.
Uh-uh.
See, this is what we're talking about when we say John is a troll, folks. He just can't let
you're
go.
Ron Burgundy. You're going to read what's there, so
Yeah,
he
I
takes advantage of that.
I'm Ron Burgundy. World of Warcraft. Yeah, we're moving on from that.
Moving on.
You lost.
Yeah, you should really replay Firewatch, though,
Yeah.
on Switch and realize how great it is.
Yeah, maybe then you'll have a heart and be like, you know what? Sometimes things end in a painful way, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
He almost went there, but she didn't let him.
Exactly. Kind of like Colin and
And
Greg.
should he have? Who knows?
It looks like Sean will be pulled towards WoW for a while longer. Blizzard has announced that Basil
Basil for Basilroth.
Bell for Azeroth will arrive on August 14th. The game will receive a pre-patch before the expansion's release, acting as a bridge between Legion and the new content. It will add a prologue questline in which the Alliance players retake the Undercity and Horde players raise
Teldrassil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah,
That was speculation for a long time. We knew the game had to maybe come out before like September.
You're a
Nerd.
I'm kidding. I like.
But the reason it had to come out by September was apparently some laws in Japan about how they had to release it by certain days.
Well, like I said, like from what I'd read, they pretty
Did
much
you say that to me?
No, not that part. But I remember reading somewhere like their internal goal is a new expansion now every 1.5 years. And it also, I know this, that always that pre-patch period before the release is Josh's favorite time because they always jack the XP you earn to help you level because, you know, they want people who are coming back and wanting to get to level before they hit patch. So then, like, you know, if they give you a free code, then you can go
Or
ahead.
you're going to get a coin, I'm sure, when you order it to boost up.
But see, people want to save that because then, like, they can come back, they can level that character at, say, like, right now, like, is like 95 or 99, right?
What?
And do the,
What are you talking about?
like, they're main right now. They haven't been playing.
Oh,
in a
you're saying
while.
like a 95?
They
or
go
99?
ahead and they get that up to 110 so that they're ready for the new content. And then when they get that coin, they're like, oh, look, I have an alt 2. That's 110 and ready to be leveled.
Ready to rock it.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy to see the Alliance in the Undercity. And they're
Right?
saying the Horde is probably going to burn down. That
Well,
place is where the elves are.
What about, what you call it? The
What?
main Lion City.
Stormwind?
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
They're going to raise it.
No, they're not. This swap, it kind of makes sense on a map level.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out.
We'll see.
And, you know, our WoW expert, Josh, called it. So
Oh.
imagine that.
He read
I
read
did-
a form.
There's somebody who knows more than Josh.
Don't you ever say that.
I
Are you talking about, yeah. Yeah, he does know a lot.
Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, he knows a lot.
He knows a lot.
Niantic sells its class action suit. We all remember last year, the Pokemon Go Fest was a disaster.
Yes.
The company has sold a class action suit that was filed as a result of the event to the amount of $1.6 million. Pokemon Go Fest was plagued with problems with the game constantly crashing and leave many players unable to use the map. Niantic tried to make up for the disaster by adding $100 worth of Poke coins and issuing an apology. Can't be surprised. I mean,
This is top-notch reporting by our news team, though, to bring back this story we reported on, to kind of give our listeners, you know, like, hey, what did happen?
That's probably like right because I'm sure it wasn't like a type of event. Like I know probably the worst that happened for people was I would imagine would be the hotel booking and things like that. I don't think it was like anything like how like
No, it was a mess.
well, I mean like I don't think it was like on the level of like would it be like if imagine Comic-Con went bad where it's like by the way you
I see what you're saying
paid
now.
$300-$400 to come here this week on top of all the hotel and on top of all your expenses and everything crashed. This was more of like hey, we're having this event type thing in Chicago.
Come out. Oh, man.
Yeah, come out. And then everyone gets there and it's like, well, I booked a flight here and I booked this hotel. That's more so what the pain was for everyone. I think that came out to this. So
Anything, John?
1.6 million is a drop in the pan.
oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Flash in the pan.
Or
I'll
drop
say
in the
that-
bucket?
But this is their one thing.
Don't
This
worry
is
about
like their, you know,
This is like 2 cents per person who filed the
I will say
complaint.
this is like, that was, in my opinion, like their get out free jail card from everyone. Like everyone's like, okay, but if they do this again, or like, I know they've got that Harry Potter game that's supposed to be coming out, I think this fall, and something like this happened again, then I think people would just be like, except for the diehards, would just be like, no.
I think we have something on the Harry Potter thing too.
Ooh, see a P.
Yeah, Sea of Peace patch.
Sea of P.
I said Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves patch, no pun intended.
See what he did there?
Yeah,
Pirates.
Sea of Thieves patch 1.0.2 has gone live. The game is working to fix a huge issue issue that players have had, which is having to fend off an endless number of respawning enemy ships. Quote, when a ship sinks, we have significantly increased the distance at which the crew's new ship will respawn. Ships will now respawn outside a visible new ship or visible view of the ship that sank them. This is in response to a lot of players' feedback, which highlighted that the previous spawn distance was resulting in griefing behavior and stalemates at forts. I can understand. Yeah, you gotta have that balance, right?
I would not know.
Yeah. Well, it'd be like, I kill you. And then you,
it's like spawn camping.
Like, yeah, you just spawn right next to me again. And it's like, well, I kill you again.
Are you serious?
I mean, yeah, not to that level, but it's like, imagine there's an island right here and we have a battle, and then like you spawn here versus like what they're probably going to do where it's like you're here and now you spawn over here.
In the war mode,
You're constantly swapping flies. Swatting.
Ooh.
what? Like in Battlefield,
While you're swatting flies while you're trying to mow the lawn.
Yeah.
In Battlefield, the war mode, when you die, depending on how far it's advanced.
Do you want to die?
When you have to die, you got to come a long way back. So to do a big battle system like that, I think that works the best. So I'm glad they fixed that, even though I'm never going to play the game.
True. New Hitman publisher. Warner Brothers has announced it will be publishing Hitman and will release Hitman the Definitive Edition on May 18th, according to IO CEO Hakan Abrak. Quote, working with a partner like Warner Brothers means the team at IO can stay focused at what we're good at, making games. Good for them. I'm glad to see.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, I've always liked Hitman games, and this last iteration of it, where it was like I don't even know, it was confusing for me for some reason.
Everyone says that second episode of it, the one that's like a beach resort or something,
was awesome.
Everyone says like that's one of the best Hitman experiences.
And they released it all together, and I want to pick it up, but
go get it.
I might, but
do it.
Hitman is legit. When they do them right, they're really fun.
Hopefully this will be legit. Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery release date. The upcoming mobile RPG will feature a large portion of the film series cast and has a release date of April 25th. Hey, it's right around the corner. Actors returning include Maggie Smith, Michael Gambon, Warwick Davis. The game will be available for both iOS and Android. Quote, our goal with Harry Potter is to make players feel like for the first time they're actually attending Hogwarts. By including these talented actors in the game, we come one step closer to truly giving fans their own Hogwarts experience. Hopefully that works out. I'm sure people will like it.
Is this the same one? This isn't Niantic, is it?
I think it is.
I should have done these notes a little better.
Yeah, you had all day to do them.
Yeah, I mean, you had all weekend, and then waited till today to do it.
I had to play quote unquote Far Cry a lot.
He was there, like, my boss is in here.
I didn't play Far Cry one time.
You had to go see a movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was doing that balance of like family life and stuff.
Yeah.
That he does so well.
True. Divinity Original Sin 2 coming to consoles. It will be coming to PS4 and Xbox One in August, not April, of 2018. Another game coming out before October 26th.
That's not a true thing.
Developer Larian Studio has announced a partnership with Bandai Namco, which will handle publishing duties for the console. The game.
You said duties.
The game will come with an updated user interface, which will be tailored for console play. It will retain all the game's multiplayer modes. It shouldn't be too much of a shock that it did the exact same thing for the first Divinity Original Sin game, so it makes sense. Hey, you developed this concept for PC, now it's bring it to console and hopefully make some more money, right? And finally this week.
Or
Why do you look like Sean? Look like the face of a man who like I just stuck a knife in his leg. He's like,
that's what it looks like.
Yeah, Chris, I don't know if you know that.
Finally this week. Far Cry 5 sells big. Far Cry 5 is the fastest selling game in the franchise's history. The latest entry, according to Ubisoft, has doubled the sales of Far Cry 4 within its first week. According to sources, that sales number sits at 5 million sold. Far Cry 5 is the second biggest launch ever for Ubisoft, trailing only The Division with 310 U.S. domestic and consumer spending over its first week. That shouldn't be too much of a shock.
I have to say this, okay? I got to.
No, you don't have to.
I will.
Okay. I mean,
the news hit everywhere.
News! Yeah.
The story popped up on every website.
Uh-huh.
There's one website that refused.
See, this is why we say he's got a grudge.
It's not a grudge. It's really not a grudge. Polygon did not once announce this story.
Shame.
I just think that's interesting.
I can't say I'm too shocked because like Far Cry 3 was the one where they arrived, right? Like 2 was kind of mixed. 3 was the one that really defined the series. 4 kind of came out so early that there weren't as many consoles out there, even though it did well. So it makes sense. Like now, like
you're just going to dismiss Primal like that, though.
Primal, I don't think Primal did that great. I think it did okay,
right,
but definitely not like when you know how it is. Like with Battlefield, like when you put the number on it, people automatically go, "I got to get that."
Or they think,
and like it makes sense that like now, this being like we're at this point where it's like there's what 110 million consoles or whatever out there for you to buy this game on top of PC. It makes sense that this is to me like their biggest selling one to date. Just like it makes sense to me that Origins is, you know, the biggest selling to date for that.
I think to some extent we would all agree Far Cry series is a bit irreverent. And I think that people gravitated to this game for a number of reasons. You've got the diehard fans of Far Cry. You've got this and that, but you've also got that group of people that went, "Oh, look at this, not trying to be anything but irreverent. I want that." It's the Saints Row fans. You know, it's to some extent the GTA fans. To some extent the GTA fans.
But
that are just jumping in there.
I think this probably means we will get our Far Cry 6 at some point. I'm just a guess. I don't know.
Far Cry Primal 2.
I doubt that. I didn't like that game that much. I don't know. You guys ready to wrap this up?
Never.
That actually picked up really well. Emails. John, you got anything for me? No. If you want to write your thoughts and opinions in, you can write them in the weeklygameschat@gmail.com, weeklygameschat@gmail.com, and we'll read your opinions just like looks like JJ Master did. He says, "Hello, Weekly Games Chat crew.
What's up?
I've been a long-time listener, and I'm just now emailing you guys with a question for my first time ever."
Yeah.
What up?
What up?
How do you feel about Overwatch themed Battle Royale or a entirely new game? I've been getting back into Overwatch grind, and I'm really trying to get good with a new character, Bridget. Now, I've also been playing and watching a lot of Fortnite Battle Royale. Quite frankly, I've been thinking this way about every game in the past few months, but Overwatch really catches my attention. Maybe Blizzard could combine the components from all the other maps to make one large map. It could also be 20 players instead of 100. They would definitely need to come up with their own spin on the genre like Fortnite did with the building feature. I know it probably won't happen, but we can fantasize, right? Game on.
I think he's not the only person that's thinking about how Battle Royale can
benefit your game. Yeah.
But I think I read that the director of Overwatch was opining how Battle Royale would not exactly work.
It wouldn't
in Overwatch, but I can't intelligently.
It's a different type of game.
Yeah.
But then again, if you play just the single player mode of Overwatch, you would, or Fortnite, I mean, you'd be like, how would they make a battle royale? And
Like-
they did.
If they were going to do it, it would have to be a thing where I think first off, I wouldn't just tie it to just Overwatch. If I were Blizzard, I'd be like, no. We're going to put the skins from all of our games and have maybe over time develop maps for all of our worlds. Like, there's a Overwatch map. There's a Diablo map. There's a WoW map.
I'm in.
I'm
in.
And then just like kind of the characters or whatever, obviously you would need to make it equal for everyone, and balanced, and everyone would just have to be a shooter type thing as opposed to
it's just like
abilities. But yeah, I could definitely see like where if you do that, you can make a ton of money on
they would make
different
so much
skins.
money.
Yeah, because people really love those characters along with the other characters of Blizzard.
Yeah.
So Activision's probably telling them, you will do this.
I don't think Activision's allowed to tell them anything. They're like, really? We own this. And then Dano writes in and says, hey guys, hope you're well.
We are. Hello, Dano.
John, tell him hello.
Hi.
Big thank you for the reply last week. It was lovely to catch up on your podcast during the holiday in Fleming Island in Florida. I am super excited for E3 this year, but more excited to see the online structure for Nintendo's online service.
Indeed.
I was thinking about what kinds of things you would like to see at Nintendo do with that service, virtual consoles, cloud saves. P.S. Do you think there will be a new versions of the Switch come out this year or next year to resolve the Bluetooth's lack of or cloud storage for backups? PPS or PSS, sorry. What would be your favorite game on the Xbox One this generation? Again, you guys are awesome, and thank you so much for the time you have. A great week ahead.
Thank you so much. You're awesome too, Dano. I think we all just want to see that the online service works and that it's okay. Like it's not too convoluted and other stuff. Mm-hmm. He asked, what was the other two questions?
He asked us basically what we would like to, what he wanted to know what your favorite Xbox One game was this generation.
Tomb Raider.
You didn't play. If you're just talking about all games on Xbox, I have to default to Witcher 3.
And I don't think the Switch is going to get a new version of it like the Game Boys do.
No.
That's the console until the next console comes out.
Well, they may eventually, but it's way too early.
Yeah.
And that console feels good in your hands. Like, sure, I could see them maybe
It feels good in my hands, John.
I don't think they need the Bluetooth. Well, no, they do if they want to do headsets. So I guess
they definitely need to put a headphone jack in a freaking Pro controller.
Yeah, I think that's the bigger thing. Jeez. Maybe they will release an updated iteration that isn't majorly different.
Chris, I don't want you to see Twitter. I didn't mean to cut you off, but don't look at Twitter right now. Don't look. That's
amazing.
I retweeted that for you, and I was going to be my big ending on the. Thanks, Chris.
Okay.
What is my favorite Xbox One game?
Oh, I'd already seen that.
Oh, when I retweeted it? Or?
No, I'd seen it like a day or two ago. I was like,
no, it just came out 3 hours ago.
It was on Polygon, that site that John says done cover things for Ubisoft.
Okay. And there's a big one right there.
Right. But anyways,
I didn't say that.
You did. You
said all that stuff. You started the war. Apparently, we're at war with Polygon.
Did I say that it doesn't cover Ubisoft? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
No, that's not what I said.
That's the way I took it.
That's the way we're taking it from now on. Ben Gachera called. He hates you.
Don't say anything, John.
Right? He wants to feed into it.
We don't want the lawyers to get involved.
I just want to personally answer Dano's questions.
Our lawyers.
But you guys move on.
It's fine.
Twitter. Yay! Twitter. Weekly Games Chat. What do we got?
Oh, you're going to answer the questions.
You answered that damn question.
I have to answer.
Yeah, you've done it to yourself.
I think my favorite Xbox One game was Doom.
That's fair.
I think.
Good pick.
That's fair.
As far as, what was the other question? Online service. This might have very little to do with the online service specifically, but I'd like to get all my purchases from the Wii U from a digital perspective transferred over to.
Well, he did ask about cloud services and things like that.
I can't see them doing
even if they start
right now.
Even if they start from the beginning, if they start now, as in don't carry over my old purchases. If they start now, that would be something of where I own Mario Brothers for life because I bought it already. whether you're on the 3DS or the Wii or the Wii U, you've purchased Super Mario Brothers over and over and over and over. And it's just like,
I don't see them doing that.
It's the right thing to do.
We said, we literally buy that game every time on every platform.
Yeah, and I will continue to do so because that's what a idiot I am. But
that is true.
I just want their online. Never mind. Go ahead. Man.
No, keep going. No, I think we all are in agreement. Like, all we want is for that service to work, and it to be like, look, they charge $20 a year, and it's worth the $20.
Forever, we wanted to be in a world where Nintendo had an online service to where we could play online games with Nintendo people. Right?
That's true.
And now it's like this weird thing. We didn't think that it would come out and be this weird thing, or did we? I don't know. But either way, I want to see what they say at E3 when all that happens. I can't wait.
And to see if they have the
And
galls.
he's right. E3 is it's close.
I will be interested to see if they have the gall to release a game after October 26th.
Well, that's where you get those dates.
Yeah, like right now, if I were them, I'd roll right into October or November because it's like, you don't have that game on your console, so you don't have to worry about people who only have a Switch like running out and it destroying your other games, right? But
It's just announced Red Dead on the Switch.
That'd be the weird thing. But like at the same time, right? Like if you are a gamer and you're not going to play that, it's like, and you own a Switch and you own an Xbox or whatever, it's like, oh, by the way, here's a game for the fall for you. Here's something, and it's coming like November 7th. Because this is probably the only time this will ever happen in the near future. Sean, Twitter.
Yeah, I'm hungry, so I'm going to make this fast. I want to give a thank you to @Ryan on Talonen. He followed us all the way from Hawaii, so thank you so much for that follow. We got @JoeBaker_123.
How'd that not make it?
Thank you for the follow. How'd what not make it? What are you talking about?
John did not post about GTA 5 hit 90 million.
He did. Oh, I think that broke maybe today.
That's unacceptable.
Because I definitely, what Chris is reading is I retweeted a mind blown emoji, and it was announced by IGN that Grand Theft Auto 5 made more money. Go back up, Chris.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. More money than any other form of media in history.
$6 billion.
With 90 million units sold. Yeah, let that process for a minute. And also @Tyrannotortoise, John, this was just
Great
for
name.
you. Chris, if you want to pull it up for John, you can. If not, I'll show it to him.
I don't know.
There was a video.
I don't see it.
And he said @Weekly Games Chat, here's a video just for John, right? So when you click on it, it's a video right here. This is the one he's talking about. It's unearthed footage of Sylvester Stallone and Carl Weathers in a choreographic
That's funny.
type thing to get ready for Rocky, so it will look good on screen.
I don't know why I don't ever. How do I actually see like what people have sent to us?
That would have been under our the tweets and replies thing. It would have been under on the phone. It's under the likes, like the notifications. I don't know if you can see it on desktop.
I see it there.
Yeah, there it is. Well, now right there, if you can go find whatever.
Ooh.
But that's really cool, John. If you get a chance to watch it, they're showing each other. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah, they've showed that on a couple of special editions.
So you've already seen it?
I mean,
well, thank you, listener, for thinking of John.
No, it's an interesting story. I mean, the story goes they're filming everything in the film, and they're the whole time they're going, how do we put this boxing match and make it look real? And Sylvester Stallone says, let me go home, let me kind of choreograph this out on paper, and let's see how this looks. And so, little did they know that Sylvester Stallone was basically writing the template for how boxing matches were to take place from there on out.
And they were amazing. @Ian the Cheez-It, let us know @Weekly Games Chat. PAX was pretty cool. Got to play Detroit Become Human.
Ooh.
And a few other games. Also got a cool
Jason!
bag. He also got a cool bag for 3 kills at a PUBG booth. And I noticed that the bag, Chris, do you know what icon that is?
I know who that is. Yes.
John, that's an icon that's associated with an act known as Deadmau5. He's an EDM electronic dance DJ producer guy.
There was a period where Skrillex decided to give out his phone number.
No.
It was the other way. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's funny.
Yeah, and I asked him, I said, that is a Deadmau5 logo, right? And he said, yeah, apparently he sponsors either PUBG or Xbox or both. He wasn't sure, but he heard that he may have been at PAX one of those days which would have been really cool because he I actually follow him on Twitch. He's an amazing PUBG player, like legit. But he has a super cool rig. I think he literally has his own internet tower in his yard. That's his internet only or something like that. Pretty dope. And then the final thing I was going to show, I retweeted it, and some of you guys have already liked it. If you want to pull it up, Chris, that'd be great. No, you don't want to. But basically, it was Chris seen it a few days ago. Sam Fisher.
Oh, hold
from. No, I got it right here. From what game, Chris?
That would be Splinter Cell.
Yeah, is going to be a confirmed mission apparently for a Ghost Recon, like maybe update or something. So that's pretty dope. We get to see old Sam. We were just talking about that not too long ago. How we want another one of those games. So
that is true. That should be a game that comes out after October 26th, and I'd be a very happy man. Even if no one bought it,
you'd be down, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd be.
All right,
like, that's all I care.
I think that's all I got. Let me check the DMs. I don't see any. We're good. We're good. Thank you guys so much for the love on the Twitter again at Weekly Games Chat.
Yes, if you like the show, you can subscribe to us.
Yeah.
On iTunes, whatever podcast service you use. If you do that, you'll get a new episode every Wednesday. Just like this one. Guess what?
It's one away from 150.
Yeah, you've got 149 of them now to listen to. So y'all shut up for the next 100, or actually really 300 hours, because most of these dang things are 2 hours to begin with. Right?
What kind of math did you just do in your head?
I don't know.
What was he talking about? 300 hours and 2 hours and shut up and stuff?
150 episodes times two.
It's 3 hours, but they haven't always been 2 hours. Have they mostly been 2 hours?
Mostly.
Yeah, or
Close
longer.
to it.
Well, didn't we go through a period?
Look, I'm rounding up to make us look bigger. It's what
understand.
I do with my Richard. It works there. No one asks questions. Wait, what? But yeah, it's been 149 episodes of Weekly Games Chat. If you like the show, make sure you write a review or drop a 5-star rating wherever you do subscribe, because it helps people find the show. If you want to write in, as always, you can write your emails to weeklygameschat@gmail.com, or you can write your thoughts and opinions at Weekly Games Chat on both Twitter and Facebook. Hey, we're on YouTube. I don't say that enough, but we are out there. So if you search for us, you will find audio copies of our episodes. So if you're like, oh, I didn't get to download the episode this morning,
but you have YouTube
it's
at
Wednesday and I have YouTube, you can go to the YouTube, go to our channel, Weekly Games Chat, and you will find these episodes. And then you can sit there and people will be like, why do you got a picture of Ni No Kuni up in the background? And you go like, hey, that's not a real video. I'm just listening to some awesome people talk.
And I noticed that we don't have a lot of pictures of like me or John or you.
And that's by choice.
It's by choice for Chris. But if you want to see pictures of me and John, we'll be glad to take pictures together.
I'll put my dead mouse helmet on.
My dead mouse helmet. You don't have one.
I'm stealing yours.
Mine's still holding together too.
Ooh.
That's a time for another, or story for another time.
Well, until then next time, which will be 150 episodes.
Yeah.
How are we going to commemorate that? Well, we'll talk about some stupid game from EA. Wait, what? Someone's most anticipated 5th game. Both of ours, actually.
Yeah, it's going down.
Yeah. Until next time, I say, game on to you, Sean.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, John.
Game on, Chris and Sean. See you next week
Shut
for
it
the
down.
150.
You gotta shut it down. He keeps singing.
Yeah, and I think
Copyright. I don't know who wrote it, but you stole it.
From a commercial for like cigarettes or something in 1980s.
Joe Camel.
He said Joe Camel, John. See, Joe Camel is.
Yeah. Remember that?
Look at that pretty girl.
Your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody. Have a great week.
Thug life, I guess.
Cool.